This is the Transition News on Atlantic Television Network. Unidentified gunmen have shot a security guard at the Action People's Party Secretariat in Port Harcourt in Rivers State. This is coming barely a month after the party's secretariat in the new GRA of Port Harcourt was bombed. Addressing newsmen at the party's secretariat, the state chairman of the party, Sonny Woke-Koro, said details surrounding the shooting remain unclear and the injured security guard is currently receiving treatment at a hospital while police officers deployed to the secretariat after the bombing incidents are yet to bring the party on the latest attack. Woke-Koro expressed concern over the ability of the police to identify the culprits behind the recent attacks, especially since they have yet to disclose any details about last month's explosion. The APP chairman and other leaders of the party also took journalists to the hospital where the injured security guard was being treated. He insisted that the attacks will not deter the party from carrying out its activities and participating in the local government elections next month. Nigerian Union of Journalists Rivers State Council has condemned an alleged verbal attack on his members and the publisher of the South Voice newspaper, Mike Chiboso Iwezo, by a member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Blessing Amadi. This is coming after Honorable Amadi, who represents Port Harcourt Federal Constituency 2 in the Green Chambers of the National Assembly, allegedly issued verbal assault against the journalist Iwezo in a telephone conversation and threatened to deal with him. The union, in a statement signed by its chairman Job Stanley and secretary Ike Wigodo, respectively described the alleged verbal attack on Iwezo as an abuse of political office and unwarranted intimidation by Honorable Amadi to prevent Iwezo from carrying out his constitutional obligations to inform and educate the public. The statement said that the South Voice newspaper had reported in its last edition with the headline, "Fargarians Reject Poor Representation," that the two members of the House of Representatives representing Port Harcourt constituencies, Honorable Blessing Amade and Honorable Manuchimso Umezurike, had failed in their duties to speak for their people or sponsor bills that will benefit their constituencies. The statement said that rather than debunking the reports and set the record straight in a civilized manner required of an honorable member, Honorable Blessing Amade allegedly resorted to verbal attack on Chiboso Iwezo and also threatened his life. The union frowned at the dishonorable attitude by Honorable Blessing Amade and called on security agencies to investigate the verbal attack on Iwezo. Zone 16 Police Command Headquarters in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, has paraded 10 individuals accused of various offenses, including internet fraud, possession of charms, and illegal drugs and involvement in ritualistic activities. The Delta State Command has arrested 40 drug dealers at the popular Swiss Spirit Hotel Junction in Asaba, the Delta State capital. ATN gathered that the police, in collaboration with other security stakeholders, conducted a raid operation on Tuesday night. It was learned that the operation was initiated following credible intelligence regarding a criminal hideout where illicit drug activities were rampant, causing significant distress and harm to society. The source said that the operation would serve as a clear message to all the security apparatus is committed to eradicating the menace of hard drugs peddling and other criminal activities in the state. He said that the raid would be a strong deterrent to those who believe that engaging in such illegal activities is business as usual. He added that the government would continue to take decisive actions to ensure that the safety and well-being of all Deltans. When contacted, the Police Public Relations Officer of the Delta State Command, SP Bright Edafe, confirmed the arrests on Wednesday. 2 of the 6 leaders of the Okwama community in Ugweli South Local Government area of Delta State reportedly arrested by military officials last month have dragged the Nigerian Army and the State Security Services before the Federal High Court, Warri, demanding 200 million naira as damages in two fundamental rights issues and suits. The claimants, James Agoroko and Dennis Okubaye, in their separate suits filed by their counsel, Malcolm Omirobo, Akpokoma, Omafueri, and others, are challenging their arrest and subsequent detention without charging them to court or allowing their counsel access. ATN gathered that Professor Otto Ekpepo and Chief Belvis Adogo, James Ogoroko, Dennis Okubaye, Pa Anthony Ahuemurie, and Rita Akata were arrested by military officials between August 18th to 20th, 2024, and have remained in unknown detention since. In a suit between James Ogoroko and Nigerian Army and two others, the applicant is demanding 100 million naira for his illegal arrest and detention without trial. Also in suit between Dennis Okubaye and the Nigerian Army and two others, the applicant is demanding 100 million naira for his alleged arrest and detention without trial. The applicants, in their originating summons in separate suits, are praying to the court for a declaration that the invasion of their homes without due process of law is a flagrant violation of the applicant's fundamental rights to his private life and therefore illegal, unlawful, and unconstitutional. They further pray to the court that their continued detention of the applicants since 19th of August 2024 to date, and thereby restraining their movement without the backing of law, is a violation of the applicants' fundamental rights to their freedom of movement and therefore illegal, unlawful, and unconstitutional. Anambra State Police Command said it has arrested a suspect who is said to be a member of a gang that specializes in child trafficking from Nigeria to neighboring countries like Ghana and the Benin Republic. The command spokesperson SP Tochukwu Ikenga disclosed this in a press statement, said that the arrest followed the concern raised by the Commissioner of Police in the state, CP Nage Itam, about the increase in reports of missing persons in the state. According to him, the child trafficking victim has been safely returned from Accra, Ghana to Nigeria and debriefed. He added that the suspect is also currently undergoing interrogation at the State Criminal Investigation Department, ORCA, for possible rescue of other victims and arrest of other gang members. 17-year-old boy Philip Emmanuel has confessed to conniving with his accomplice, Precious, to kill their boss, Adene Iyabode Deborah. The deceased, a caterer who was stabbed severally and her head severed, was said to be found dead inside her apartment after missing for some days. Paraded at the Ondo Police Headquarters, the suspect said that he had worked with the victim for 5 months before the incident, stressing that it was Precious who was employed as a driver for only 2 months that lured him to commit the crime. According to the teenage suspect, Precious overheard that 150,000 naira was paid into the madam's account and approached him that they should kill her and collect the money. Ondo Police Commissioner Oladipo Abayomi, who described Philip as a trusted employee of the deceased, urged residents to be cautious when discussing sensitive financial information, especially around employees or individuals who might misuse such knowledge. Ondo State Police Command has arrested a 43-year-old man, Ajagba Joseph, for allegedly attempting to murder a man he found in his concubine's home. This was made known in a statement shared by the police command on X.com. According to the statement, the incident occurred on August the 23rd when Joseph visited his home and met another man who was also reportedly in a relationship with the same woman. Angered by the situation, Joseph allegedly pulled out a single-barrel gun and shot the other man. The victim survived the attack and is currently recuperating from his injuries. People's Democratic Party in Ogun State has conducted the clearance process for the former chairman of Ijebu East local government, Wale Adedayo, to participate in the party's primaries for chairmanship aspirants scheduled for Saturday. This was disclosed in a statement made available to journalists by the party's publicity secretary, Afolabi Orekoya, said that the hundreds of aspirants from the 236 wards and 20 local governments, including the former chairman of Ijebu East local government, Chief Wale Adedayo, who is recontesting for the chairmanship position in Ijebu East local government of Ogun State, obtained the party's nomination forms and were screened for eligibility to contest in the local government elections coming up in November. Orekoya said that the party has scheduled Thursday 5th and Saturday 7th September as respective dates for councillorship and chairmanship primary elections across the 236 wards and 20 local government areas. ATN recalls that the journalist turned politician was the chairman of Ijebu East local government, elected on the platform of the All Progressive Congress until his impeachment in August last year, after accusing Governor Dapo Abiodun of diverting 10.8 billion naira local government fund. The state government had, however, vehemently denied the allegations of Adedayo, describing it as baseless. Ibadan Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has secured the conviction and sentence of 39 internet fraudsters from Justices O.S. Adeyemi, Bayo Taiwo, and Ladiron Akintola, all of the Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan. They were prosecuted on a separate one-count charge each, bordering on impersonation, possession of fraudulent documents, and obtaining by false pretense. They all pleaded guilty to the charges when they were read to them, following which prosecution counsel reviewed the facts of the cases, tendered incriminating documents, and prayed the courts to convict and sentence them accordingly. Justice Adeyemi convicted and sentenced Austin Ayomide to 1 year of community service or to pay a fine of 200,000 naira. Tunde got a 1-month jail term or to pay a fine of 250,000 naira, while Abib Ayomide, Adeleke, Babatunde, Biodun, Oyindamola, Oluwatobi, Olatumbosun, Uche, Akinyinka, Adisa, Olashide, and Adeniran bagged 6 months community service each and to pay 50,000 naira each. In addition to their sentence, besides Abib Ayomide, who was slammed with 500,000 naira in addition to his sentence. The convicts forfeited all items recovered from them to the federal government. All the convicts began their journey to prison when they were arrested in a sting operation for fraudulent internet activities. To permanently checkmate the incidences of recurring auto crashes causing deaths of innocent citizens, the Ekiti state government has pledged its commitment to speedy relocation of the Iworoko Ekiti Central Market in Irepodu, Ifelodun local government area of the state. In the same vein, the government also promised to expedite action on the installation of a new Alaworoko that has been vacant since 2019 following the demise of Oba Alade Jana to attract development to the town. The Ekiti State Deputy Governor Chief Munishade Afuye gave the pledge on Wednesday when receiving stakeholders from the community led by the regent Princess Alade Jana, who paid a courtesy visit to her office in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti State capital. Afuye, in a statement by her special assistant on media, Victor Ogunje, lamented recurrent cases of killings of traders and other citizens at Iworoko markets due to persistent vehicular accidents, saying such sordid scenarios will be reversed. The deputy governor disclosed that Governor Biodun Oyebanji is incurably committed to safeguarding the lives of the people, adding that the request for the relocation of the central market causing persistent carnages was long overdue. A middle-aged man whose identity has not yet been determined was electrocuted while attempting to vandalize a transformer and cables owned by the Jos Electricity Distribution Company. ATN gathered that the incident took place opposite Queen's Hotel in Ampa Ward, Makurdi, the capital of Benue State. Residents were shocked to find the man's lifeless body suspended between two poles that connect the cables to the transformer. According to a local resident named Terkula, the victim exploited power outages in the area to carry out the vandalism. The man likely met his fate when the power was unexpectedly restored. The police were promptly notified and the D Division Police Station arrived to remove the body. Dr. Adakole Elijah, the head of corporate communications at the JED, confirmed the incident and criticized the ongoing vandalism of company assets despite heightened security measures. Dr. Elijah emphasized that repeated vandalism incurs substantial costs for repairs and disrupts essential services, highlighting the negative impact on security, social stability, and economic benefits for the communities. He called on community policing groups and local vigilantes to help safeguard these critical assets. The state police public relations officer, SP Catherine Anene, also confirmed the incidents, noting that she is aware of the electrocution that occurred in Wadata as the individual attempted to vandalize the transformer. We have received reports regarding this event. Chairman of the Northern States Governors Forum, the governor of Gombe State, Muhammadu Yahaya, has strongly condemned the recent deadly attack in Mafa, Tarmuwa local government area of Yobe State. The attack, suspected to be carried out by Boko Haram insurgents, resulted in the looting and burning of shops and houses in the area. A statement by Ismaila Misili, the Director General of Press Affairs at the Gombe Government House, Yahaya, described the assault as a senseless act of violence that has inflicted immense grief on the affected families and communities. Yahaya commended the efforts of security forces in combating remnants of criminal groups, but stated that the urgent need for intensified operations to capture and bring the perpetrators to justice. The NSGF chairman reaffirmed the commitment of the Northern governors to supporting efforts aimed at restoring peace and security in the region and stressed the importance of collective action to prevent such tragedies from reoccurring. Yahaya extended the forum's condolences to the bereaved families and the government of Yobe State, offering prayers for the repose of the souls of the deceased and wishing the injured a speedy recovery. Embassy of the Saudi Arabia in Nigeria has strongly condemned the recent terrorist attack in Yobe State, where at least 34 villagers were brutally killed by Boko Haram insurgents in Mafa village. In a post on X, the embassy described the attack as treacherous and reiterated the kingdom's firm stance against violence, terrorism, and extremism. The embassy also extended its heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims, as well as to the government and people of Nigeria. ATN reports that the attack occurred on Sunday when armed militants reportedly riding over 50 motorcycles stormed Mafa village in the Tarmuwa local government area of the state. According to eyewitnesses, the death toll could exceed 100, although official reports from the state government confirmed 34 casualties. The victims were laid to rest in a mass burial on Tuesday in Babangida, the headquarters of Tarmuwa local government area. The bodies were recovered during a search and rescue operation led by the Nigerian Army with the assistance from local vigilantes. The Yobe State Police Command also confirmed the attack with its spokesperson, Dungus Abdul Karim, noting that the insurgents left behind flyers with Arabic inscriptions. Borno State Governor Babagana Umara Zulum has approved the constitution of a committee to discuss modalities for implementing the new national minimum wage. A statement released by the secretary to the Borno State government indicated that the committee would be chaired by the Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Engineer Babagana Mustafa Malumbe, while the head of service, Barrister Malam Famani, will be co-chair. According to the statement, part of the committee's duties include to analyze the current consequential salary adjustments at the federal level and determine the extent to which it can be applied in totality or partially in the state, and also to use the consequential adjustments at the federal level as a guide to arrive at a reasonable and sustainable salary adjustment based on the specific peculiarities of the state and any other matter relevant to arriving at a reasonable and realistic salary for civil servants. Zulum, while congratulating the members on the opportunity to serve the state, directed them to start work immediately. With this development, Borno became the latest state in the federation to make such a bold move towards implementing the approved new national minimum wage. ATN recalls that President Bola Tinubu had recently signed the new Minimum Wage Act into law after agreeing to 70,000 naira with the organized labor unions. You are watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We'll return after this break. Do stay tuned.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussion.
Welcome back to Transition News on Atlantic Television Network. And now to the rest of our stories. Federal government and the People's Republic of China have agreed to partner on a crackdown on financial intelligence on anti-monetary laundering and countering the financing of terrorism. A joint statement by the two countries on establishing a comprehensive strategic partnership and building a high-level China-Nigeria community with a shared future, released by the State House, said that both countries would collaborate to encourage flexible and diverse regional and monetary and financial cooperation such as local currency swaps to facilitate trade between China and Nigeria and make contributions to global financial stability. At the invitation of the President of the People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping, President Bola Tinubu was in China for a state visit on Tuesday and to attend the Beijing summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. According to the release, both countries have also committed to support the World Trade Organization's focused multilateral trading system, oppose trade protectionism, promote trade and investment liberalization and facilitation, and create a transparent and non-discriminatory business environment for cooperation. The two sides further support the establishment of more friendly relations between Chinese and Nigerian provinces, states, and municipalities with a view to expand and deepen the cooperation at the sub-national level. The two sides are committed to stepping up protection of lawful rights and interests of each other's citizens on their territories and create a favorable business environment for each other's companies. Both sides agreed to support the increased calls for United Nations Security Council reforms with balanced geographical representation to reflect the current geopolitical realities. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, has implored Nigerian youths to pay attention to details so as not to be carried away by the euphoria of modern technology. Honorable Abbas Tajuddin was speaking during an interactive section with some youths participating in the training of 2024 Legislative Mentorship Initiative in Abuja. The speaker emphasized the need to pay attention to details and said only this way can help youths achieve success and become good leaders. The speaker also disclosed the success so far recorded under his leadership in the House of Representatives, noted that this is hinged on his principle of trust, accountability, and transparency, which has been the hallmark of the 10th House. He said it is unfortunate that even though there is a huge deposit of information on the internet for the youths, many have failed to pay attention to details. Speaking on plans for persons with disabilities, Honorable Abbas said that the disability law signed into law by former President Buhari is currently being implemented, assuring that the 10th House under his leadership has very high regards for persons with disabilities.
It doesn't take any miracle to succeed as a leader. All you need to do is to be honest, to be open, truthful, to be transparent, and to be objective. Those are the things that we put on that majority, if not all the members, the 360 members, today we are singing one single song. One single song. We are very, very united. We speak as one. In spite of our divergent political affiliations, the House is one entity. We speak as one, and there is no any magic to it except for those virtues I have mentioned. To be honest, to be open, to be accommodating, to respect people's views, and to be a good listener as well. Be a good listener. If you listen to people and you try to reach out and do the best you can in sorting their problems, you go a long way. We have been going around talking to our members, both in the Senate and in the House, and we've been engaging our members, even at the state level. Last constitutional amendment, this particular issue of women inclusion was not favorably accepted by the National Assembly. We would want to see a change, and I want to assure you that we are going to do everything humanly possible.
Speaking on the Legislative Mentorship Initiative put in place by the former Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, Abbas said that his leadership will consider increasing the number of youths benefiting from the initiative. He said part of the ways his leadership plans to improve on the initiative is to introduce an internship program for graduates of the LMI, and adding that his leadership plan to engage Nigerian youths twice a year. Former President Muhammadu Buhari has decried the recent terrorist attack on Yobe State that led to the loss of several lives. A statement by his media aide Garba Shehu, the former president, said that the latest incident was a dreadful reminder that communities supported by governments have more work to do in curbing the menace of the terrorists. Shehu said in a message to Governor Mai Mala, the Yobe State Council of Chiefs, and the entire people of the state, that Buhari prayed for the repose of those killed and called for strict response to those who commit this monstrous act. Federal government raised the university admission age limit from 16 to 18 years after it sparked intense debate among educators, parents, students, and other stakeholders in the Minister of Education, Professor Tahiru Maman, who disclosed The development said that the change is in line with the 6334 education system, which provides for 6 years of primary school and 3 years of 3 years of junior secondary school, as well as 3 years of senior secondary education and 4 years of tertiary education. He also said that the advantages of raising the admission age limit to 16 to 18 years was to allow students to mature mentally and emotionally before entering the university, adding that the new policy is in alignment with what obtains in parts of Europe and North America. Professor Maman said that the development is in agreement with the United Kingdom primary education, which starts school at age 5 and continues until age 11, and secondary education from 11 to 16 years. Students then have the option to continue their education for an additional 2 years from ages 16 to 18 in preparation for university. Our Abuja correspondent Joseph Moses Mawuyinka completes the story with a street broadcast.
Hello and welcome to Atlantic Television Network Street Broadcast. I am Joseph Moses. This is what we do in the street of Abuja, discussing issues that bother Nigerians. Last week, the Minister of Education, Professor Tairu Mama, said, going forward, Nigerian students or children will have to get to 18 years of age before processing for admission to university, so that they will enter university with matured mind, and thereby helping them to be there as an adult, knowing what is right and knowing what is wrong. But this has raised an alarm within the parents of Nigeria children, civil society, activists, and so many others, analyzing issues that has to do with education. Will this actually help the children after graduating from their secondary school? What would they be doing? Won't they be at risk of getting spoiled at home in society before they get exposed to knowledge? This and so many other questions we will be asking Nigerians in the street to get their take.
And the reason why I said the idea is good, because the children now go to university early. They go to university at the age of 13, at the age of 14. Before you know, that is why we have a bad society now, because they did not reach that adult stage and they feel that they go to university, they are adult. So that's why we see our children going around half naked. So for that one, we Baba Tinubu they talk, me I did with them for that one, we talk. The children, they should have patience. They should have patience with the government until they reach that age, because it's good for them.
Yes, that is the original plan of Nigerian education. Because the program is 6 years in primary school, 6 years at that time is 5 years in our own period, 5 years in secondary school, then 4 years in university, or 6 years. So before you out of secondary school, you must be 18. If your education is fast, it must be 17. But now we have 14, 15 out of secondary school, and they want to go to university. They don't have the matured mind to go there, and that is why if they went to university at the early stage, the peer group influence can be on them. I get them. But 18 years old is matured enough to know what is good for him. Nobody can convince him to do things that is wrong. But 14, 15, they can still influence them. I think it's very, and it will reduce the educational tensions.
Children going to writing jam from 18 years, I totally disagree with that. In a nation whereby we still permit child marriage, but we don't permit child education. It's out of place. And also number two is an anti-masses project, because their kids, those ones propagating the law, their kids are 15, 16, are already abroad schooling, coming back to grab all the jobs that is meant for the masses. Most of the job will say less than 20, less than 25 years, and you must have some experience. If you enter school at let's say 19, 20 and finish at 20, 25, 30, 25, when are you going to get experience? It's just it's just a way to further impoverish the poor and also deal with them, which is a tool the leaders have been using against the masses, and they keep bringing this tool one after the other. I urge every right-thinking person to speak against it. That is all I can say about this case.
I totally disagree with what Honorable Minister said. With due respect, he mentioned this from his own perspective of understanding. From psychological point of view, we have different talents that Almighty blessed us with. And now, when we talk of somebody to restrict somebody from the opportunity and the talent which Almighty provided to him, is totally unacceptable. It's something that will bring our country back. When you go to European, or let me mention the wise country now. When you go to some other countries like Europe, you will see those that finish school. You will see somebody at the age of 25. It's a PhD holder. Why is it in Nigeria we cannot think of progressing to reach some way? In the next 21st century, we are thinking of reaching where they have reached for the past 50 years. So, on that aspect, and when we go to part of religion, being a Muslim, I will never go with this decision, because whenever somebody is bringing something that is going to tarnish the image of my religion, I will not tolerate it, I will not follow it. When we go to issue of religion, female children, because they are now growing because of the kind of fertilizer we are using. You will see someone is 13 years, but when you look at her, she's big, she's matured, she's equivalent to someone of 35 years of yesterday. So when we decided to deny them from this opportunity, we are coming back. We are drawing our country back instead of moving forward. So on my own part, forward ever, backward never.
But I'm not in support of what the Honorable Minister says concerning the age bracket of children. One, if you say that you should, a child must enter into university before he's 18 years, you understand? And you now stop the child. Whether you stop the child or you didn't stop the child is learning. Whether you say he should not enter, he must enter to 18, and the child maybe finish secondary school at the age of 16 years, and you say the child will not enter until he's 18. As you stop him or her, the child is learning. He's learning either bad or good. My own is, let the Honorable Minister look into the school education and know how to fix this issue of ASU strike, other things, developing the university curriculum. You understand? Making it so that we can be measuring with other developed country. This thing is, we don't need something like this now. That is me.
Thank you for being with us. I still remain Joseph Moses. You have had some discussions with Nigerians in the streets. We hope that this could help the Ministry of Education to adjust. If it is necessary for the children to get to 18, so be it. If it is not, then it means there is need for adjustment, that Nigeria education will get better. I am Joseph Moses, reporting for Atlantic Television Network.
On to other news. Inspector General of Police Olukayode Igbetokun has directed organizations utilizing supernumerary spy police personnel to heed to the new standardized uniforms of the officers. And Igbetokun gave the directive in Abuja at the inauguration of the new standard supernumerary police uniforms. He said that the Nigerian police force was actively taking measures to prevent the unauthorized production and distribution of police uniforms, including the spy uniform. represented by the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Administration and Finance, Bala Shiroma. The IGP said that the inauguration of the newly approved standardized spy police uniforms and kits was a significant milestone and a crucial step to enhance professionalism and visibility of the police officers. He said that the Section 21, subsection 7 of the Nigerian Police Act 2020 as amended formally establishes the supernumerary police as an integral unit within the Nigerian police force. According to him, attempts to create and enhance its identity had been significantly impeded by a lack of standardized and distinctive uniform, which had persisted as a major obstacle. No fewer than 3,590 inmates across the custodial centers in Nigeria are on death row, the Nigeria Correctional Service has revealed. The NCOS Public Relations Officer, Assistant Controller of Corrections, Abubakar Umar, made this known while speaking in Abuja. Umar said that the total number of inmates in centers across the country is 84,741, comprising 82,821 males and 1,920 females as of September the 3rd, 2024. The NCOS spokesperson put the total number of awaiting trial inmates at 57,750, comprising 56,303 males and 1,447 females. Umar said that the majority of inmates at the custody were awaiting trial persons, posing a significant challenge for the service due to their high numbers. He, however, assured that the service was taking steps to address this issue and ensuring timely judicial processing for the awaiting trial persons. Umar stated that the service's efforts to build partnerships with other agencies have paid off, leading to enhanced security and positive results in and around custodial facilities. He said that the service has taken steps to reinforce the security of custodial facilities against external threats, and we have maintained a stable and secure environment within our facilities with no incidents of internal insurrection. Umar also noted that the service saw significant enhancements in the treatment and care of inmates, particularly in the areas of personnel reformation, rehabilitation programs, and successful reintegration into society. He added that the partnership between the NCOS and National Open University of Nigeria was yielding practical results, with a significant number of inmates enrolled in various academic programs, including advanced degrees, while serving their sentences. He said that the total of 1,282 inmates were enrolled in the National Open University of Nigeria Special Studies Center as of August 31st, 2024. Nigerian Bar Association has offered free legal representation to end bad governance protesters with court cases across the country. President of the NBA, Afam Osigwe, who announced this on his X handle on Wednesday, also directed NBA branches to monitor the legal proceedings against the protesters across the country. He said that the Nigerian Bar Association Citizens Liberties Committee has been tasked with liaising closely with the chairman and human rights committees of NBA branches in regions where protesters are currently being prosecuted. This ensures that no defendant suffers injustice. 9 of the End Bad Governance protesters were remanded in Kuje Correctional Center after being charged with treason, while the court ordered the remand of the only female among them in the Suleja Correctional Facility. The protesters, alongside thousands of others, demonstrated against hunger and bad governance from August the 1st to 10th, 2024. Analysts have decried against the prosecution of citizens who were alleged involved in anti-peaceful protests in the recent nationwide protests. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network's program, Atlantic Blowout, a development expert, Loveday Dandy, said that it is needless prosecuting citizens demanding for their right of a better livelihood amidst the looming hardship.
And you're prosecuting some persons for going beyond that. How about government not even coming out to address the issue? So who is prosecuting the government? So whatever it is, if anybody, the truth is that if anybody goes against the law, such person will face the law. So in the cause of protest, if you feel you go against the law, you become a victim. But if Nance is appealing that such person should be released, such prosecution should be hot, probably because of the economic hardship.
Meanwhile, Alfred El Nino expressed uncertainty as it concerns the government's proactivity in addressing the biting irritation for the betterment of its citizenry.
The government does not have a blueprint for the common man. And that is what has brought us to where we are today. Now, talking about these protests now, what were the yearnings of the people? This is geared towards bad governance. And the people are simply just tired of the way things, the acoustic manner in which things are done in Nigeria. And to this effect, the common man said, let's put an end to this, and the only way they can actually make themselves heard is by taking to the streets.
This is coming as the National Association of Nigerian Students have expressed concern over the prosecution of individuals involved in the End Bad Governance protests. The student body has described the legal action as a significant threat to democracy in Nigeria. NANS has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to intervene and halt the prosecution while emphasizing the importance of protecting the rights of peaceful protest and free expression. National Association of Polytechnic Students have announced plans to protest against the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board Registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede. The decision was communicated through a statement issued by the Senate arm of the union. In their announcement, NAPS had called on the participation from all federal and state polytechnics, private polytechnics, federal colleges of agriculture, federal cooperative colleges, and other institutions offering ordinary national diploma and higher national diploma programs. The statement further explained that this protest aims to demand either the removal of the JAMB registrar or a reversal of his harmful policies against the Nigerian polytechnic sector. The demonstration is scheduled to take place on September 12, 2024 in Abuja. NAPS Senate President Adeniki Temitope accused JAMB of instructing the NYSC to exclude polytechnic students, particularly those who completed part-time studies for their national diploma and full-time studies for their higher national diploma, from serving. He emphasized that despite multiple attempts to address the issue with JAMB, all efforts have been unsuccessful. The number of affected students substantial make the situation particularly concerning. Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted thunder and rainy weather conditions from Wednesday to Friday across the country. NIMET's weather outlook released in Abuja predicted thunderstorms over parts of Borno, Jigawa, Yobe, Adamawa, Taraba, Kano, Katsina, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Sokoto states. Later in the day, thunderstorms are expected over parts of Gombe, Sokoto, Bauchi, Kaduna, Adamawa, Yobe, Taraba, Kebbi, and Borno states. Then, in the north-central region, the agency said that there are slim chances of light to moderate rains over the parts of Plateau and Nasarawa states during the morning hours. Later in the day, moderate rains are anticipated over parts of Federal Capital Territory, Niger, Kogi, Plateau, Benue, Kwara, and Nasarawa states. According to the agency, a cloudy atmosphere is expected over the southern region with prospects of light rains over parts of Akwa Ibom and Cross River states during the morning hours. NIMET envisaged rains over parts of Anambra, Abia, Imo, Enugu, Ebonyi, Delta, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Rivers, and Bayelsa states later on that day. It predicted thunderstorms over parts of Adamawa, Taraba, Yobe, and Borno states in the Thursday's morning hours. In the afternoon into the evening hours, thunderstorms are expected over parts of Sokoto,